Welcome back to Out and About Today. I'm Pam Wheeler. Our next guest made history in September when she was the first open lesbian elected to a legislative body in the state of Tennessee. Here to share her victory with us is Nancy Van Reese. You're back, second segment.
Hey!
We could have you on the whole show. I'm going to challenge you now because many people know you, many people don't. Give me your 30-year bio in 30 seconds. You can do it.
Okay. I moved to Nashville in 1986 with a small company. In 1988, I met the love of my life, and we've been together now 27 years.
Cheers.
Legally married. In 1998, I came out of the closet, and since that time, I've been involved in with HRC Steering Committee early on. The very first dinner was a part of that. Had become a Victory Fund candidate, have worked as a columnist in Out and About newspaper, and in 2011 did my first run for office with support of the Victory Fund, and again in 2015 now elected. That's my gay history in a nutshell.
Well, I appreciate it because you have done a lot. I know you left out some things, but I wanted the viewership to know that you've had an impact pre the council races in our community. So if you could sum up your win, qualify it if you could in time, money, and support, and in relation to the gay community as well, how would you do that?
Well, particularly with time, a lot of folks don't realize sometimes you'll get into the race around springtime for a summer election. When gearing up, particularly for an open seat and trying to raise some money to get things started, a lot of time and effort is spent actually in the previous year. So the very first thing that happened for this race actually happened in November of 14.
Wow.
So we were campaigning from November through September, so it's a very long run. One of the things that you learn early, and particularly even in 2010 when I did my Victory Fund training, was whenever you're raising money, the first thing that you need to do is ask family and friends.
Right.
And so one of the first things that we were able to do there in November is to reach out to the GLBT community to get their support, to get things started, to kind of put those tracks down so that we can get out of the gate. Overall, by the end of the race period, nearly, I think last number crunch was about 12% of the funds raised for our win came from a gay family of some sort.
Right. Let me ask you this, because a lot of coverage has been on you're the first lesbian, you're the first lesbian. How important was that for you? Did it even come on the radar as you're campaigning and as you're thinking about your place in Nashville history or Tennessee history? Was that a motivator, or?
I think that anytime that you're in a year where a lot of glass ceilings are getting shattered, it was fun to be part of that. And every time I would see now Mayor Berry on the campaign trail, I would say, let's make some history together.
Right.
So and having her support and encouragement along the way meant a whole lot. I think that you have that in your mind clearly. But at the same time, it's all about constituent understanding, vision for your district. It wasn't an at-large race. It wasn't big picture stuff. It was about what was happening in our district and what we needed to do to move things forward. So it was about development happening for us and not to us. It was about sidewalks. It's about transit. It's about all those types of nuts and bolts things. It's about getting your water main fixed when it breaks. So making sure that folks knew that the skill set was there to project manage and to promote and tell the story of the Northeast Corridor in a way, that was more about what the race was about.
Yeah.
But there's never a time where you're not cognizant of the idea that there's some young woman in high school that's going, maybe I can do that now.
That's right. And on that note, what advice would you give to future LGBT candidates?
Well, number one, just learn the issues. Understand the difference between municipal, state, and federal
so that's
public service.
Yeah,
right?
That's any candidate.
And because it's a public service job. You do it because you have a passion for serving. They don't pay you a lot. They call it part-time, but it takes up all your time, and you have to be prepared to do that. So yeah.
So describe, because you're newly sworn in, describe the last 45, 60 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was instantly jealous of the people who won in August because they had an
A
extra
little-
month, right? But those of us who won in the runoff, I like to describe it as the dog that caught the car, and then as soon as it slowed down for me to let go of the bumper, someone yelled, "Jump on the train!"
Right.
And so there's been quite a shotgun of information from all the departments that we're all trying to absorb. And getting your arms around the workflow has been the ultimate first month goal.
Right.
And now I think we're almost at that point to where the workflow sort of makes sense. I've been advised that as soon as I figure it out, it'll be time to run again.
So you were named the chair of the Convention, Tourism, and Public Entertainment Committee. That's
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We're almost out of time, so
Sure.
I want to be efficient here. We have 1 minute. You can marry people, Nancy Van Rees. Tell me about that.
I can marry people. I can marry people at a convention. How's
Yeah,
that? Vice Mayor Briley was kind enough to make me a chair of a committee, which puts me on the executive committee, which is very important. But at the same time, we've already seen response from people visiting into town to understand that as we solicit more and more conventions, having me as the chair of the committee further indicates that Nashville is a welcoming city, just almost by default. I've already been able to welcome a couple of conventions on that regard. We'll be at the city's convention coming up here in the first part of November. I can marry people as an elected official.
That's right.
You can learn more about doing that at my website.
Yes, tell us.
nvr4district8.com. There's a little weddings button, and I'll tell you how to get married.
You can always Google her, and you'll find her, Nancy Van Rees. We're out of time.
Okay.
I'm so happy you won. I'm so proud to know you.
Thank you,
You're going to
Pam.
be back on the show, I know.
All right.
So, the Entertainment Outlook is next. When we come back, Chuck will be right here with actor Jacob York from the new movie Paternity Leave. Stay with us.